Her first name was Donna. I can't remember her last. But her dad was a New York police officer, and he had passed away with a heart attack. And her brother was a New York police officer. And he had been slain in the line of duty in New York. And on Saturday, they laid him to rest. Mayor Rudolph Giuliani of New York showed up and spoke to the family and expressed his appreciation for the officer's service and dedication to New York City. He asked the family, he said, "Is there anything I can do?" And his sister was crying. And she said, Mr. Giuliani said, "My dad had passed away and said, I'm getting married next Saturday. And my brother was going to give me away, and now he's gone." Mr. Giuliani said, if it'd be all right, I know I'm not related to you, and I know you don't have anybody else, but I'd count it an honor to stand in their place, give you away. She said, "Oh, you don't have to do that." It was on Saturday. 3 days later, the Twin Towers was struck in the Pentagon. New York City, as you well remember, for those of you that remember, was under. The mayor was very busy. But on Saturday at 1 o'clock, he walked into a little church. And they said that Donna gasped. And she said, "What are you doing here?" She said, "The whole city is in upheaval and everybody is, I know you told me you would give me away." But she said, "You've got all of New York City looking, what are you doing here?" And Rudolph Giuliani said these words. He said, "I gave you my word. And I'm here to give you away." Let me tell you, I like that story. Let me tell you a better one. Jesus said, "In my Father's house are many mansions, and if it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also." He said, "We sorrow not as those who have no hope." He said, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, the voice of the archangel, and the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words." And I'm telling you, if a man can keep his promise, how much more? How much more? I'm telling you, friend, you need to remember this morning that the King is coming. I said the King is coming. I said the King is coming. You need to remember where you was at. And there's some of you, the enemy has overtaken you and you've forgotten. But it's time this morning you remember and you make a fresh vow and you come back to the altar again and say, "Lord, if you'll help me again. God, I want to remember. We're going to remember in this September, and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to keep my focus on the prize that is before me, because there's a heaven to gain. And he's coming. Whether you believe it or whether you don't, he's coming. And I'm going to tell you something else. It's soon.